Moving on to item 7B, Zoning, Building, and Planning, Amendment to Bernalillo County Code, Chapter 30, Article 4, Noise. Mr. Schroeder.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. I'm George Schroeder. I'm the Environmental Health Manager. The item before you concerning the noise ordinance is the introduction and motion to publish a revision to the current noise ordinance. This revision would create a process by which a permit could be obtained for amplified sound, such as a concert series or a concert event, in which amplified sound could be used under a permit actually would be limited to the hours from 9:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Under the current ordinance, it's actually less restrictive, allowing amplified sound to be used from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. The place where this proposed revision would be less restrictive is in the sound level that can be produced. Under the current ordinance, the daytime sound level that can be projected onto a residential property is 55 decibels, and that goes down to 45 at night. Under the permitting scenario, that sound level would be allowed to be up to 75 decibels projected onto residential property from a commercial property that's using amplified sound. Those are the major points that I wanted to make. I'll stand for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Schroeder. Commissioner Wiener.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I really think this makes a lot of sense. All of our concerns, I believe, are in helping not only create jobs in the county, but keep the jobs that we have here, keep the businesses open, and try to do everything we can to not only allow for people to come to events and enjoy them, but also balance that with the needs of the neighborhoods that surround those properties. And so I think this is a really good opportunity to do that. As you know, we do not have a permitting process in place. This would allow for that. It charges a $100 fee, even less, but it does raise the noise, the level, the music level, the sound level to a more reasonable level, I believe. In fact, it's the same level as is allowed in the ordinance in Santa Fe County, 75 decibels. We feel that's a good compromise, both tonight and at our next meeting. I'd stand for any questions. Again, I think it's a really good first step, and as was stated in previous discussions on other ordinance, this is a living, breathing document. If this passes, I'm sure it'll be brought back for refinement and retuning and further revision. It's not going to be perfect out of the gate, but I think it's a good step in the right direction. And again, I would urge support when we get to that point. Thank you.
Was any consideration given, Mr. Schroeder or Commissioner, to the number of special permits for a single location? Because I gather that this is a way of allowing an individual or a business to be able to have a special event for any number of times, but it seems that it may be problematic if it is just open-ended and it could be unlimited. It could theoretically be 365 events.
Actually, Mr. Chairman, it cannot. The way the ordinance reads, it's limited to 3 hours a day under this proposed ordinance, and it's limited to 2 days a week. The only exception would be on holiday weekends, like a 4th of July, Labor Day, when there's a Monday and there's a 3-day weekend, which makes sense. Was having 13 evenings a year for 3 hours. That's 39 hours that they were providing musical, to some people entertainment, to other people noise. I guess it depends on what side of the fence you're on, whether you're going there to enjoy it or whether you happen to be living nearby and consider it a problem. But again, 39 hours out of 8,760. I think it's a minor inconvenience for those who don't enjoy it. I think it's a great opportunity for those who do. And it's clearly not too invasive.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Brasher.
George, 75 dB, what at your property line, what is the equivalent of 75 dB?
I'm not an expert on sound, okay, but just from the literature, if you were standing next to, let's say, four lanes of traffic, that is, let's say, 2 lanes going in each direction, at rush hour, for example, Indian School Boulevard, if you were standing next to Indian School Boulevard or Tramway Boulevard, perhaps, you would be exposed to approximately 70 to 75 decibels standing on the sidewalk next to those major streets.
I guess more to the point, if Commissioner Armijo were singing Woolley Bully, would you be able to hear him and you had to hear him at your property line, how critical would that be? Is that likely that that would occur? Oh, I'm sorry, that could be entertainment. Never mind. Forget the question.
Commissioner Armijo.
Well, it only depends on that part that goes boule boule, and that's not 75. You know, when your voice goes really low, you know.
That's great.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Wiener.
I think we need to adopt an anti-Woolley Bully ordinance.
Commissioners, you want to make a motion?
Can I make one statement first, Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Wiener.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, before we make a motion, can I just add one thing for consideration? I think in the next couple weeks, we all tend to be responsive to our constituents and to people who call us and write to us and email us. I think it's important that we keep in mind that there are going to be some people who oppose this. And I think anything we do, there are people who are going to. We seem to always have 3 or 4 people up there who complained about this, yet we have 600 or 700 people who show up. And, we all learn how to count to 3 being up here. And I think it's important that we all balance, as I mentioned, the fact that there are going to be some people that complain that no matter what we do, we're not going to be able to make those folks happy. And we're trying to, again, strike a compromise and do the best job we possibly can to protect the interests of the neighborhoods and also allow people to enjoy a music series and keep a restaurant and their 80 jobs going, and maybe other things in your districts for other businesses that you want to have these same type of events. Thank you very much. I would move this bill then.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Commissioner.